This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Trade.
Here we go, massive game here. South East Melbourne taking on the Perth Wildcats. And I'm going to do something that I'm always scared to do, and I very rarely do, and that is tip against the mighty Perth Wildcats. South East Melbourne, post-COVID, they're just starting to get their roll on. They've got their full squad back, and my man Ryan Broekhoff is starting to play himself into some form, which is dangerous for everyone else in the competition. So I'm going to go with the Phoenix here. I'm also going to take them at the line. I reckon they're able to push this one out a little bit because Perth just don't have the bigs at the moment. Still reckon they got room for an import to come in here, but they don't have the bigs at the moment to be able to roll with the tall trees that the South East Melbourne Phoenix have. But don't forget, Dunkuary, $500 from every dunk. You could have the chance to shoot from half court for all that cash. Enjoy and gamble responsibly.
Fills up the three. Joe G says no. This is my house now. Bryce Cotton sneaks away. Oh my goodness. He's done it again.
The Arthur from well beyond the arc. Creek had room to fire away. Mitch Creek up to 20 points. Travers, second knockdown in a row. Wildcats tied up at 86.
Xavier Mumford time. Oh, G. Everyone in the venue smiling. Say G.
G says no. Adnam wide open. South East Melbourne have turned this game on its head.
Back to Bryce. Flick back. Three in a row from that spot from Vic Law. That's ridiculous.
Phoenix force a turnover at halfway. Oh, yes, sir.
Hellacious dunk by Mitch Creek. Spectacular.
Hey! Oh, boy! Luke Travers, right down Main Street.
Mitch Creek, the big moment man on cue.
At space. Another one.
And he makes you pay.
There's nothing that man cannot do.
It's big-time basketball on a Saturday night here in Melbourne. The stakes are high. Whoever wins this one will be second on the ladder. The last time these two teams met, a COVID-ravaged Phoenix gave up a double-figure lead to go down to the Cats. Can the men in red triumph once more in the fire pit? Hello and welcome to John Cain Arena. I'm Nerily Meadows. It's wonderful to have your company. I can tell you that both teams are pretty well full strength for this one. Luke Travers has passed a game day fitness test and is right to go for the Perth Wildcats, and he was the star the last time these two teams met. Your commentators for this one, it should be fun, John Casey and Andrew Gaze.
Thanks very much, Nerily. Great to have you back in the country from stateside, and you're back for a good one because second spot on the line here. But for the Wildcats, Drewy, they lose. They could be out of the top four at the end of the round if things don't go their way. So it is pivotal.
It certainly is. I'm looking forward to this. These two teams are going to feature in the playoffs. And the Perth Wildcats, surprisingly, the last two games, it's been their defence that's been poor, 92 and 98 points respectively. And I think they're going to need to tighten that up to have a chance against South East Melbourne Phoenix. If you look at their history of playing, Perth have had their number. I think that South East Melbourne Phoenix only beaten Perth twice in their history.
In 9 games.
And this last game we saw, it was they dared Luke Travers to shoot from the perimeter. He ended up with a career high. We look at the starters. Mumford is a big piece of the puzzle. Ryan Broekhoff is starting to find his form, not necessarily from the three-point line, albeit in the last one he did knock down a few, but that bench is starting to look stronger on the basis of Cam Glidden. He had a great one in their last outing last weekend, and if they continue to do that, this is going to provide some challenges for the Perth Wildcats defence.
Well, Joe Chi only played the 12 minutes when these teams played last time. He was in foul trouble, and they found a way to get around him. And Mitch Creek and Bryce Cotton, the two highest scorers in the competition, going head-to-head is certainly worth the price of admission alone to MVP candidates. And speaking about the best in the business, let's send it over now to Liam Santamaria in the Analysis Centre.
Thanks, Case. When these two teams played a couple of weeks ago, we saw some funky stuff from the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. Now, everybody bends their defensive schemes to deal with Bryce Cotton and Vic Law, but the Phoenix, they took that to a whole nother level. And as Drewy said, they dared Luke Travers to shoot the ball. And the craziest part about that was the matchup between Joe Chi. They put Joe Chi here on Luke Travers. This was the first moment when Travers checked into the game, and he dribbles the ball up the floor and he says, hold on, the big fella's guarding me. What do I do here? Then you see he spaces out, and the reason they do it is for this type of situation. As Vic Law dribbles it and drives it towards the paint, the big fella sits in here and takes that driving lane away. And what Luke Travers did was catch and shoot, no hesitation, knock that down. He shot 4 of 6 from long range, 24 points, a career high. Here's another example. They drop the ball into the post to Vic Law, and have a look at this. This guy, Joe Chi, is guarding Luke Travers. Here's his man all the way out here, but the idea is to stay there and take it out of Vic Law's hands, steps up and knocks it down. It was a brick, this shot, but you've got to make the defense honest, and that's what he did. Now, I don't think we're going to see this funky stuff from the Phoenix this game. It took away from their juice at the offensive end. I think they'll come out much more aggressive.
Thanks very much, Liam. Well, the DoorDash starting 5 for the Perth Wildcats. Take a look at it. Law, Norton, Cotton, Blanchfield and Hodgson. We are set to go. Underway. Big clash between the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix and the Perth Wildcats. And it is Perth in white who have controlled the opening tip. Get Hodgson involved early, but he can't finish from close range. They come up empty. A chance now for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, and Creek lobs it upstairs. Joe Chi needed to do better from close range.
Well, that's 2 of the easiest points he'll ever want to see. Joe Chi is not good enough to make it, but Vic Law comes down and kisses one off the glass to get the Perth Wildcats underway. And both the big men seeing it, and I don't think that's by accident. It's by design, trying to get Hodgson going early, who, since that little kerfuffle he had a few weeks ago against Sydney, he's trying to find his way back into it.
Did a good job there to reject Joe Chi. They came up empty again, the Phoenix. Hodgson did well to reel that in on the baseline. Vic Law elevating once more unsuccessfully, and Munford grabs the rebound. 60 seconds played. The Phoenix come up empty with their first 2 shots of the game. Perth 1 of 3 so far. Chi from the foul line attracted Hodgson's attention, marched down low and opens the Phoenix account.
They're really trying to make a focus. The big fella at the offensive end, the Phoenix going at Matt Hodgson, going at that matchup, trying to get Joe Chi going.
Matt Hodgson, he's been a foul waiting to happen most of his career, and they test him by just standing off him, and Joe Chi puts it to the deck, and relatively easy stuff for the big fella.
Bryce Cotton guarded by Liapa, the Defensive Player of the Year in the New Zealand Basketball League. A big assignment from close range. Hodgson makes no mistake, and he's flexing on them already.
Great find by Bryce Cotton, a little on ball, and that's where Joe Chi, that can get bullied a little bit. He's got great size and timing, good shot blocker, but when those big fellas get deep, he's been dunked on a few times, in fact. Joe Luala-Chul backed him right up, and that time Hodgson, and there must have been a little deflection there, and it goes back the way of the Wildcats.
Bryce Cotton averaging 24 a game to lead all scorers. Picks up the dribble. Here's Vic Law, who's called off in the last 3 games. Norton, penetration. Takes a bad shot. Couldn't make that one work, though. Under pressure. Well done from the Phoenix. And now Creek, with his foot on the accelerator, bounces into Law, who's called for the foul.
There's no doubting Bryce Cotton is going to would be the major focus of the scout for any team that plays against the Perth Wildcats, but even more particularly the last couple of games, last 2 games, he's averaging 32 points, 4 assists and 3.5 rebounds, and a perfect 12 of 12 from the free throw line.
Somewhat surprising, Andrew. Back-to-back 30-point-plus games for the first time in 6 seasons that he's played here.
In fact. And Yeah.
And he's coming out in this one, looking to create history. No player in the 40-minute era has scored 30 in 3 straight games. So I'm sure, look, they've lost those last 2 games, keep in mind. I'm sure he'll be happy to not necessarily get that record, but get the win.
The drop-off of Vic Law, you mentioned it, Case, is significant. The first 10 games, he's averaging around 22 points a game. In the last 3 games, he's only been at
11.
Well, we'll round it up to 12.
Generous.
But and it's the rebounding and right across the board. The field goal percentage have gone from 50 to 28%, and the 3-point shooting is the biggest drop-off. 4 of 20 in the last 3 games. So got some shot clock issues, or game clock issues, technical issues, and they have a little spell here to figure it out. But
The thing that really impressed me, Andrew, just not only with Bryce Cotton getting 30+ in 2 straight games, but he's had 1 turnover in his last 3 games.
Yeah.
With all the attention he gets, with all the pressure, the double teams, 1 turnover in 3 games. How did he do that?
yeah, that is extraordinary. It is just shows the sharpness, the way in which that he can distribute the ball without too many problems when he is pressured, finding other people and creating easier options. But like you said, they haven't been winning these last 2 games with him putting up those extraordinary numbers. And sometimes teams will go to a point, well, by us rushing and trying to do all the crazy schemes to stop him, he still gets his, but it opens it up for everyone else. So there is some that subscribe to the mentality that perhaps, well, let's just play him honest, play him like we would everyone else, but make sure the others around him don't do as much. And we can talk about the offense of the Perth Wildcats, but really it's their defense that stood out the last couple of games, giving up 90+ points.
And just on Bryce, about becoming an Australian, it seems the citizenship process has dragged on longer than we anticipated. I think he was a guest on your radio show, Andrew.
Yes.
Speaking to you about that and the fact that at one stage he was going to be playing at the Tokyo Olympics, and here we are, still no movement there.
He was perplexed. He's like, well, I thought I was on the cusp. It was going to get done before the Olympics, just missed out, and hasn't heard a peep out of him. So hopefully that gets resolved. He's got, I believe, an Australian partner, an Australian daughter, and he's an Australian as far as in my eyes.
We highlighted those defensive schemes from the Phoenix in their last matchup. Already we've seen a much more honest approach at the defensive end. Here's that play that resulted in the Matt Hodgson dunk. Watch Joe Chi. No drops coverage on the pick and roll here with Bryce Cotton. Hard show. Jumps out, hard show. As a result, you find Matt Hodgson open down low and he throws it down. So keep an eye on those coverages, because all of that is the Bryce Cotton problem. You've got to try to find a way, as the guy guarding Bryce, as the guy guarding the screener, as everyone on the floor, how to deal with that issue. And the Phoenix right there didn't have the answer.
I think you've either got to, with Bryce Cotton, you either got to, well, they use the terminology blue, push or ice, where you don't let him use that screen. But if he's coming off those screens, very, very difficult to be in that drop situation for him, because he can get his shot off so quickly. So I think the hard show is the right strategy when it comes to Bryce Cotton.
You just got to have your rotations right.
And Mitch Creek was sort of there. He was just a little deeper than what he needed to be, and Hodgson catches it in that preferred position. He goes up and stuffs it in with 2 hands.
And the interesting part about that for me is it's not Joe Chi's comfort zone to come that far away from the rim and outside the 3-point line. They've been working on that with him. I understand the Phoenix, and he's been making some improvements, and they're going to need him, both he and Brandon Ashley, to be a lead at that tonight.
Almost set to get back underway. Perth up by 2. They've beaten the Phoenix 7 out of 9. And have won both games here at John Cain Arena. Here's Creek. A little reluctant to go on with it initially, but elected to and came up with a good finish.
Good awareness from the Phoenix, recognising the zone defence from Perth and executing their zone attack perfectly.
Mitch Norton exploring in a mismatch with Joe Chi. Forced it up, and he was shut down pretty quickly by Joe Chi.
Well, this is an aggressive Mitch Norton. We've seen him twice try to get to the cup. Now, usually he's going in there, make sure he takes care of the little one, the fans, as he spills into it.
And that's a guy that you can be in the drops coverage with. There you see Joe Chi just absorbing
that penetration, because Mitch Norton's not going to pull up and shoot that jump shot. You can meet him at the rim.
Spot on. Did that perfectly. There's a tough little one there. Hopefully she's okay.
Wildcats restart. Shot clock quickly into single digits. Cotton got away from Liafa, but his second effort was good. Got Hodgson from close range. Thought he was fouled. Worried out of it. Well done, Joe Chi. Perth come up empty. Chance for the Phoenix to edge ahead for the first time in the game. Creek against Cotton, the two leading scorers in the competition, and Creek travel. Good job defensively from Bryce Cotton.
Well, it was the help coming from the baseline side. He thought he had Mitch. Thought he had the drop step and ran into a wall with the help side defense coming and being there at the right time.
So 3 minutes played in the opening quarter. Mitch Norton exploring once more. This time elects to dish outside. Cotton elevates. Can't connect. And the Wildcats will get it back here with 9 on the shot clock.
So Isaiah Liafa that has the job for the Phoenix of chasing Bryce Cotton all around those picks, and he's been right where he needed to be these last few possessions.
Cotton, this time, it's a look, can't complete it. Law, the offensive rebound against Mitch Creek. Down in the low block. Muscles up against him and adds another 2. He's got 4 of the Wildcats 6. Three and a half minutes played. Opening quarter action. The second spot on the line in the Hungry Jacks NBL. It's round 13. Thanks for sharing a Saturday evening with us. Round continues tomorrow. Adelaide against Sydney, Cairns against Melbourne, and then Monday and Tuesday games to come as well. Mansfield off the mark. And rounds on. Matt Hodgson picks up his first personal. Vic Law likewise has a foul. Michael Aylan just laying down the law here to Scott Morrison as well. So Phoenix 2 of 5 from the field. Wildcats 3 of 11. Plenty of it. Joe Chi on Hodgson. Muscles his way in. And it's going to count. Chance for a 3-point play. Now Hodgson's got 2 fouls.
Well, it is. It was an aggressive move by Joe Chi. I don't think it actually went in, Case, but we'll have a look on the replay and just threw it over. But he will go to the line to shoot a couple. And Mitch Creek gives him a tap on the chest. So we love that big fella. When he's aggressive down low, he's usually does his work as a receiver around the rim, but that post up, you can see that he's got that skill to put it to the deck. Travers comes into the game. And 83 is the number for teams against the Wildcats. When teams score 83 this season, they are 5-0 against Perth. So that's the number that they'll be trying to get, and it's a decent sample size with that. And when teams score 83 or less this season, they are 0-8 against Perth. So that's the number that they need to get to. In the last few games, no problems getting past the 83.
From close range, and another 2. So Phoenix on top for the first time in the game. Mitch Creek, it's his second field goal. Disjointed start to the game. There's Travers one way, the other. Creek sags off him. Well done, Ryan Brokoff, reaching in to slodge the ball away from Vic Law, and a chance now for the Phoenix. Munford, it's got around Blanchfield easily. Look away pass. Brokoff. It's looked a little unbalanced.
We made a meal. They did. Of that finish, wide open under the rim.
Travers.
It's an absolute gimme. It looks like I think he might have just slipped in his hands a little bit, or his leg just didn't respond when he asked it the question, because that was, here's a beautiful penetration, complete lack of vision, and yeah, just the leg just gave away on him. As such, made a meal of it.
Bryce Cotton resumes his battle with Liafa.
The open man rolling to the hoop. A little around the rim wouldn't work. Turnaround. Nothing but the bottom of the net from Majuk, who's had an impact off the bench straight away.
That's what they need from Majuk. Just make a nuisance of yourself on the offensive glass and get our squad extra possessions.
Liafa takes it from Munford. Travers stares him down. Shot clock rolls to single numbers, picks up the dribble. Here's Creek, shows it to Vic Law. Muscle his way in with the right hand. Hook shot won't work. Majuk grabs the rebound over. Now to Cotton. It's away from the D. Majuk muscles up against Creek. Travers. Penetration comes here from Frazier. Went on with the dribble as well. Couldn't complete it. Ball almost came back to him. Deflected out of court. Perth are going to surrender here and give it back to the Phoenix.
Frazier is a bit of an X factor for this team. He's had some good games and he's really contributed, but coming off the bench and just trying to find that consistency, only averaging the 8 points and at 34%. But you've seen enough to know that on a given occasion he can put some numbers on the board. It's just about opportunity and figuring out where he actually fits in.
Well, it's a big game for him. Let's be honest. Last two, a combined 7 points, 7 rebounds. The Wildcats have been outscored by 40 points during his minutes on the floor. And with all this talk about their roster, do they need another big man, an impact big, like a John Mooney, a Nick Kay, guy that Sean Redditch, Matt Knight, that they've had success with over the journey? The pressure's on Michael Frazier to prove he's a key piece to this Wildcats puzzle.
He's played the 9 games, of course, had injury problems early in the season, but only hit 9 threes in his 9 games at 24%. And that's not probably what they were seeking when they signed him up.
He's getting the minutes. He's averaging 25 a game and only 23% from the three-point line. That's really was going to be what he was brought in here for, along with the work on the defensive end.
Restart for the Wildcats. Cotton, the 10 on the shot clock, guarded by Liafa. This is Travers. Decides to fire, and it's off the money. Munford leads the charge. Liafa caught it in rhythm, fires the 3. All the bottom of the net. Phoenix enjoy a 4-point edge.
You can see straight away they're not going to be saying off Travers. That time, hard close out, or certainly touch distance by Mitch Creek on Travers. They'll beat him once by allowing him all the freedoms you'd ever want. And they're doing the right thing and saying we're not going to get beat the same way twice. And nice transition pull-up 3. And Liafa's another one that just gone through a period where the shot hasn't been dropping like he would have liked.
And a good start in the fundraising campaign the Phoenix are running tonight, because every 3 they hit, they're going to donate money to the Starlight Children's Foundation. Do such a good job for over 30 years, using play and social connection, creativity to support children and young people in some of their toughest times. Munford adds to the carnage right now. They've scored 8 unanswered points to lead by 7. So the Wildcats with their hands full here at the moment. Cotton fires unsuccessfully. They won't be too concerned, because they were down 12 at quarter time when these teams played here 3 weeks ago and found a way to get the win.
Speaking of finding a way, no one finds a way to draw a charge better than Jesse Wagstaff. Instant impact off the bench right there. And the previous possession, good contest from Brandon Ashley on the Bryce Cotton 3, the most foul-prone player in the league, against the man who draws more three-point shooting fouls than anybody else, and just did enough to force the miss.
And if you want to help out the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, then get to their web page or their social pages to donate at home as well for the 3-point shots they knocked down. 2 of 2 so far through Liafa and Munford. And great charity to support, get behind the Phoenix and the Starlight Children's Foundation.
I got you, hang on. Hang loose, okay? Hang loose, pitch it back to Mitch. Get off. Bryce, you're through. Okay? Instead of going back to Mike, you're going to space high. Okay? Jesse, you're out this way. Just spread pick and roll with Bryce on the single side. Okay? Let's go. Do his right hand, yeah.
Was trying to get Bryce Cotton going. Scott Morrison, 0 points, 0 for 3 from the field, Cotton. And Isaiah Liafa's been doing a really good job. I mean, if he is going to make life that sort of tough for Cotton over the course of the game, he's in for a big load of minutes. Isaiah Liafa. And Scott Morrison in that timeout, calling some action, spread pick and roll for Cotton on the weak side, try and get him a bucket.
It is, and it's different. Bryce Cotton, he can play in any system under any circumstances, but from what he used to deal with Trevor Gleeson, where it was highly structured, a lot of off the ball, and he'd be running off 3 or 4 screens, whereas in this system here, it's more ISO, more just on-ball stuff, and a little less off-the-ball work that Bryce does here in this system. And the 3 shots that he's taken already, they've been tough. The 2 threes have been really tough. And, yep, we credit the defense, but it's certainly also when you don't get that same help coming off those same amount of screens and pin downs off the ball.
And the thing that goes missing when you don't have that off-ball action are those easy baskets.
Correct.
The easy baskets that you got so many of.
The little cheap back doors when you're coming off a screen and they try and step out or hedge out and you back cut. And those actions happen by design, not by accident. It's about a system where the offense knows, the defense knows exactly what you're doing, but it's the penalties and the reactions that you're able to read through that action that creates those cheap baskets.
Let's go courtside, the Nerily Meadows.
Just before this game, guys, there was a really nice moment where it was a moment's silence for Jack Bendat, who lost his life a little earlier this week. Both teams wearing black armbands in some capacity for this game. Of course, he was the former owner of the Perth Wildcats, a wonderful man. He used to come out to Wildcats training sessions all the time when I was a reporter back in Perth. Just got so involved, was so involved with the Wildcats, but just the NBL in general. So for anyone who's listening, who is a friend, a colleague, or a family member of Jack Bendat, our thoughts are with you.
Well said, Nerily. And the Wildcats are going to wear the Jack Bendat name on their singlets for the remainder of the season. That's how important he was to the franchise. 6 championships as an owner. And it's done so much, not just for sport, but business and just through philanthropy in Perth and beyond. So our thoughts and condolences to the family. What a great man. So the Phoenix have scored 11 unanswered points here. They lead by double figures, a little over 2 minutes out from quarter time, and Jesse Wagstaff puts a stop to it.
And there was the play that Morrison called. They didn't get to it the first time, but they got to it there. And you put Jesse Wagstaff in that action, becomes really tough to guard. Pick and pop right there, open on the arc, and he knocks it down, shooting 42% from 3 on the year.
A great season. Just keeps on keeping on. He's adding it. This time off the mark, ball lands in the lap of Frazier, and he's off and running. Hodgson with a mismatch in support. Pass wasn't great. Really asked a lot of the big man, and they've coughed it up. 3 turnovers apiece here in the opening quarter. Brockhoff wide open from 3, can't connect, and Hodgson grabs the rebound.
We've seen these quarters from the Perth Wildcats before where they just struggle to score. Only 11 points in this one so far at 27%.
Hodgson calmly, casually, working his way down low and stepping into the middle and coming up with a finish.
Looked a little awkward, a little clunky.
It's not how.
How many?
Margin sliced in half here. Perth have scored the last 5. Inside the last 60 seconds, turn number 1. Ashley out of the hoop is fouled. Free throws to come. 6th foul on Perth in this opening quarter. And Hodgson and Frazier both have 2 apiece.
Well, it's interesting to see Scott Morrison bring Hodgson back into the game. He was out there with 2 personals, risking a potential 3rd. He's going to bring him out now, last 50 seconds of the quarter. And they're going to go small. No Hodgson, no Majuk, Vic Law, and Jesse Wagstaff at the 4 and the 5. That is a group that becomes very, very hard to guard because everyone can shoot it and the floor becomes hugely spread.
My word, it does. I think, though, that you look at this Phoenix lineup, and that's where Brandon Ashley, he has the ability, he can guard. You see him on balls. Yeah, he's foul prone, but his lateral movement is not terrible. And Mitch Creek can guard 1 through 5, in my view. So they, as far as guarding the Perth Wildcats, but now they make the change. So perhaps they look and say, well, if you're going to go with this small lineup, we'll throw the big fella in, and the game of chess begins.
Like it.
To say, well, how are you going to stop this big fella down low?
Interesting conclusion here to the opening quarter. Dacius lost the handle on it. Turnover number 5 for the Perth Wildcats. Number 4, in fact. Phoenix with 3. Mitch Creek lobs it down low against Norton. Double team arrives. Has to retreat. Adnan, Glidden. Nice pass. Creek works inside Frazier. They get it through. Sets of hands. Nice finish to Rungy.
That is just beautiful. It wasn't bad rotations by the Perth Wildcats. They double team down low, they rotate, but it wasn't the third, it was probably the 4th pass for the easy 2.
It was beautiful execution.
It was.
Wasn't it? And that's the payoff when you bring the big fella on the floor. Now you say, all right, well, we'll drop it to him in the post. You're going to have to double team him. You've got no one out here who can guard him. So here comes the double. And all of a sudden, now you get the defense in rotations. They're moving, they're scrambling. You can penetrate and you can punish the help at the rim.
It broke down with that last bit of penetration.
Talking about breaking down, easy layup there. Mitch Norton right on the quarter-time buzzer to open his scoring account. Perth score last, but Southeast Melbourne Phoenix have scored more. Quarter-time from John Cain Arena. The Phoenix 21, Perth 15. The battle for second is warming up. Stay with us here on the Hungry Jacks NBL. Well, both the Phoenix and the Wildcats expected to be around when the playoffs are underway. This one's got a playoff feel about it at the moment. It's a 6-point lead for the Phoenix after Perth made the early running. And it's been entertaining so far.
Yeah, the Phoenix, you shoot 3 of 5 from 3, 60%. You keep Bryce Cotton to 0 points, you'd want to be in the lead.
And today's winner of the $50 Kmart gift card is Bo Silva. That's a nice shot there at their first game of the NBL. And they had an epic time, is the quote. Go Phoenix. Well, the Phoenix at the moment up 6 with possession. Close to the rim, unable to finish it was Tarangi. They stay with it, still no reply, and eventually Blanchfield puts a stop to it.
That's another area where you're going to be challenged when you've got this small lineup in, is on the boards. And you got away with one there, Perth.
You see Bryce Cotton out to begin this second quarter. So from Simon Mitchell's perspective, Isaiah Liafa takes a rest. First chance for Kyle Adnam to come and check into the game. He played the last little bit of that first quarter, but Isaiah Liafa, he's going to match his minutes up with Bryce Cotton. That's a big job over the course of 40 minutes.
Norton leads Vic Law, who gets nice and close and comes up with a finish. So 6 points now for Vic Law. Leads all scorers. Margin cut to 4.
We've got some further technical issues. Just
dodgy shot clock.
Just need to jiggle the cables ever so slightly.
Right, here we go.
Then reboot.
The tech whiz.
And then if that doesn't
tech whiz of the
work,
town.
Just call the experts.
You got all the answers.
Where's the on-off switch? Give that a crack.
A reboot. Usual cables. Jiggle, jiggle, jiggle.
Result.
Nice work.
Away we go. There she
is. Look at this. The young girl's back. Mitch Norton steamrolled her. He's tough. She's tougher.
Tough as nails.
She almost gave him the brush off. When it was like, hey, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Carry on. Nothing to see here.
Real cold shoulder stop.
That's how they breed them out in southeast Melbourne.
The Heartland. Big hearts. Back underway. Phoenix by 4. Adnam, the captain. Looking for Creek. Not a lot happening though. Good defensive stance here from the Wildcats. Shot clock to 5. Adnam forced into a tough one. Can't complete it. Actually got a piece of it. Wagstaff eventually reels it in. Gets Fraser involved. Blanchfield ahead of him. He slows it down and waits for some more support at the offensive end. He wants to go solo on the mismatch. Feeds outside. Vic Law. Can't complete it. And Glidden snatches the rebound. Rungy. Adnam in the corner. Well played. They found the captain. Knocks down another 3 for the Starlight Foundation.
Well, they had the numbers advantage there. The Phoenix. Wagstaff behind the play as he ended up in that front row. Hope he didn't hit that same girl in that spot. They found the open man on the arc.
Fraser has to dig deep here and did well to come up with the 2. First score in the game for him. Adnam, Chi. Close quarters found Tarangi. And they're forced to reset. Well, wide open in the corner here, Ruben Tarangi. He drills another triple for the Starlight Foundation. 5 of 7 at 71%.
That has really been the difference in this game.
Perth at 1 of 7.
Yeah, 1 of 7 as opposed to 5 of 7, and that's wide open. That's a breakdown because there was help on the roll, and they had 2 guys coming in. And down the other end, Phoenix having the same problems on the defensive end.
Mitch Creek hands over. Adnam had an impact off the bench. Now Creek, baseline, off glass, adds another 2. Nice work. 6 in the game now for Mitch Creek.
They're able to execute and get through their sets reasonably well, the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. They don't, it's very reactive so far. A lot of switching going on for the Perth Wildcats, but the tempo on the offensive end for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix is perfect. And Jesse Wagstaff, one of his best seasons that he's had over the last couple of seasons. He's always been solid and plays his role, but his three-point shooting in particular this season,
stroking it.
As good as I've seen for a long time.
42% coming into this one, 2 of 2. And he's hurting them on those pick and pop actions. The poise there. Shot fake, steady dribble, knocks it in, and Simon Mitchell wants to talk about it.
One of 4 players for Perth who have played all 13 games. And well, the Wildcats in game number 9 on the road consecutively, and they've got another 5 to go. They haven't played at home since before Christmas. Amazing stretch.
Switches. Talking early. Get underneath, run under, get into the legs. Don't let them roll you down on that one.
As they set the double and they come off this way, they set the double. If that's a switch, you've got to know it. If it's a show, then we've got to rotate. Weak side's got to be in already.
Hey,
Any switches, they've got it there in as well. Wide post is a bit better for you right now. Okay, gives a little bit longer to come over. Okay, so we get that switch. Go to Creek in the wide ones.
Simon Mitchell talking about the defense. When he talks about when you're switching, when you're hard showing, when you're guarding the ball, you're trying to go over the top. When you're switching, you've got to try and go underneath the screen to stop the roll. And he's talking about trying to get into the legs of them to stop the roll. If they do get down to the box, when he refers to the defense, we want to white them, what he wants to see is to get in front, full fronted, and rely on the help on the weak side. It's really hard to do. It's one of the hard. Everyone thinks switching's easy, but against good offense, when it's executed properly, it is hard to stop that roll if you aren't able to get under.
Wagstaff with his hands full here against Chi. No contest as the big man throws the towel.
And this is where the Phoenix are trying to punish Perth for having the small lineup on the floor. Scott Morrison, he responds, brings Matthew Hodgson to check into the game.
Law took the ball from Cotton. Off the ball foul going to be called on Kyle Adnam, his first personal. Matty Hodgson about to check back in, but of course he's already picked up 2 fouls.
This is the issue. I mean, Jesse Wagstaff, as great as he has been for a long, long time, and he tries to draw the charge once again right there, he can't guard Joe Chi down in the block.
Well, he can't. Well, I think he can. He didn't need to flop. He tried to flop and draw the offensive foul. He just got to hold his ground and bang in there and give some time for his teammates to come in and dig in. If he doesn't fall over, then they've got a better chance. It's a whole lot harder.
Good contest between Vic Law and Mitch Creek, and on the low block as well. Here's Creek trying to use his athleticism. Tough shot, couldn't make it work. Hodgson the rebound. 4 minutes played in the second quarter. Bryce Cotton is yet to score in the game. He's looking to change that right now. Short-armed it, couldn't get the rebound, and now Adnam scurries after it. And with the help of Liafa, they come forward once more. 7-point edge for the Phoenix. Liafa away from Frazier. Finds Creek, sharing it. Brockhoff, top of the key, and gets a user-friendly roll.
Well, he'd like to see that. He doesn't care how it goes in. He needs to see it go in. Brockhoff, renowned for his three-point shooting, but by his standards, from that area, he's been poor. Now, he has been playing poorly, but his three-point shooting has been poor by his standards this season.
26%, 18 of 69. 18 threes in 14 games. Shot clock violation on the Perth Wildcats, where their offense is being stifled at the moment. And we credit the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix D.
Yeah, they're having trouble at that end of the floor. They've had a couple of guys been able to get some things going. Vic Law, he's got 8. A couple of knockdowns from Jesse Wagstaff, but their usual ways of finding buckets through Bryce Cotton and him either scoring or setting up teammates hasn't been happening, and as a result, just 24 on the board a quarter and a half into the game.
Wildcats come in as the highest scoring team in the competition, averaging 90 a game. Brockhoff off the money there, but they lead by 10, the Phoenix. Middle stages of this second quarter, and now Mitch Norton exploring across the top of the key. Now down to the baseline, tough shot, couldn't make it work. Will Cotton gets involved, offensive rebound, couldn't finish it though. Norton's hustled there and has won it back for the Wildcats against the bigger man.
Missed block out from Kyle Adnam, raises his hands, apologised to his head coach. You cannot fall asleep on Bryce Cotton for a moment. They dodged the bullet right there.
Missed his first 5 shots, Bryce Cotton. Norton restarts to Law, gets it back. Now they go to the leading scorer, Norton. Heat knocks short on the rim from the three-point line. And a chance now for Adnam and the Phoenix to expand their advantage. And he did well to get down low, looked off the D and earns a trip to the free throw line. Wildcats haven't got to the stripe as yet, and the Phoenix 4 of 6 so far. Adnam a 74% free throw shooter, 14 of 19 so far this season.
Such a good job of just ticking the scoreboard over for the Phoenix, coming off the bench. Every team needs someone who can come off the bench and give you a bit of a scoring punch. So have a guy averaging 11 points a game, essentially, off the bench, reliably can make plays out of pick and roll. There's a nice weapon to have up your sleeve.
Good decision maker.
And Kyle Adden knows his role in this team. He comes out very aggressively on the offensive end, either off the bounce or if he's open for three, there's no hesitation. He's going to let it fly.
They scored 11 unanswered points in the opening quarter, the Phoenix. They've scored 7 without reply here. Margin to an even dozen. And as Matty Hodgson turns around and eases the situation just slightly for Perth. Adam gets it back from Brockhoff. Now takes on Norton. Not an opening. Can't connect. Athletic work from Vic Law to grab the rebound. Get it to Bryce Cotton, and Law charging back up the floor. Wants it back. And well read by Brockhoff. Just knocks it down. Perth will restart.
One area they've done well so far, Perth, in this one is on the defensive glass. Against a guy like Joe Chi, it's always a bit of an issue. They're last in the league in defensive rebounding percentage, the Wildcats, but they've just restricted Southeast Melbourne at 3-0 boards thus far.
Hodgson, Cotton, shut down again by Liafa. Here's Travers wheeling and dealing high up the glass. Hodgson wrestling with Joe Chi. He's going to pick up his 3rd personal.
Well, there's 2 big guys going at it, and Hodgson thinks he's going to be subbed out of the game, and even with those 3 fouls, it looked like the coach said, carry on, stay out there.
Adnam once more picks up the dribble. Brockhoff, Liafa, back to Brockhoff, baseline wraparound pass to where it started from. Adnam off the mark. Now Hodgson feeds Mitch Norton. Put his foot on the accelerator, and 2 shots for Mitch Norton here.
It's just been aggressive.
I like it.
That was his, well, he's 1 of 6 from the field, so he's already at 6, but here we go, and here is, hey.
I remember you.
That's right. Twice he's saying, what's going on? But I'm on the telly and I'm happy.
Gotta love that. Look, we often talk about Daniel Johnson being the most underappreciated player in the competition. I think Mitch Norton's overtaken him now. You look at his numbers, what he brings to the table. Shooting the ball from the field, Mitch Norton at 54% from the field, 38% from 3, 10 points, 3 assists, comes in, always does a job. One of the best defenders in the competition. I don't think he gets the credit that he deserves.
No, it's a good call, Case. He's got a big Farlap-sized heart pumping away in that chest of his.
Last year in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. And it's the 3-point shooting that brings it all together for him. 7 of 12 from 3 over his last 4 games. He's giving away burgers right here.
Gee whiz.
Unlike him, commentators' curse can extend to all sorts of things. Code word is dunk. Cheeseburgers for all of Melbourne and Victoria. Andrew Gase licking his lips at the end of the table here. Looking forward to that. Mitch Norton gives up the burgers. 70% free throw shooter. He's a generous man. The Wildcats have got problems at the offensive end at the moment. Just 36% from the field. Brockhoff charging up the floor. It's to Wagstaff, who's called for the foul.
The thing about the Wildcats offense, again, I keep comparing to what we've seen over this incredible period under Trevor Gleeson, and nothing wrong with it. I'm not being critical, but clearly there's far less questions that they present to their opponents on the offensive end. And when Bryce Cotton's not cooking, and he's 0-5 in this one, he's yet to score, they don't have to go through the same processes. There's not as many challenges that a team has to face with this type of offensive structure, where it's more spread, a lot more individual penetration, and as such it's a little easier to come up with the defensive strategies to deal with this, because a lot of it just comes down to your one-on-one and how you're going to deal with an on-ball.
No John Mooney this year, club MVP. No Clint Steindl this year for the Perth Wildcats. Those other avenues of offensive output.
The funny thing about all of that, though, is they can get so red hot, this team.
When they lead the league in scoring.
They lead the league in offensive efficiency by some mark. And you're right, they do have some dry spells, but when they get hot, they're red hot and really tough to defend.
Can't recall Bryce Cotton ever having a scoreless first half. The stat man will let us know about that. And there's Vic Law just easing the situation. He's up to 11 to lead all scorers. Without Cotton scoring, it's only an 8-point margin. Ashley picks up the dribble. Liafa trying to split two defenders. Eventually gets it through. And firing from the corner. It's another three ball for the Starlight Foundation for Ruben Tarangi, who's knocked down a pair.
Oh boy. Comes in shooting 25% on the year. Tarangi. It's 2 for 2 so far.
More importantly, he's 7 of 12 for the Phoenix.
Shot. The mark foul's going to be called on Ashley. And as Vic Law knocked down.
This is a big piece of the puzzle for the Wildcats. Vic Law. Over the first 10 games of the season, he averaged 22 points and 8 boards. Over the last 3, just 11 points, 5 boards. Hasn't really been involved at the level they need him to be. So strong first half from him. 11 points. He's going to the stripe for 3 here. Has helped the Wildcats stay in touch.
He's an elite player and can do it in so many different ways. Vic Law, and his rebounding is really very good as well. This game, you look at all the numbers and it's very similar right across the board. Rebounds, assists, a few more extra steals to the Phoenix. It's really just coming down to shooting. There's been the difference between these two in the first half.
7 threes, 58% for the Phoenix, and 3 from deep from Perth at 30%. They've got the Phoenix on top by 9 with possession and going for the 3 ball once more and knocking down their 8th trifecta of the first half as Liapa joins the party. It's 5 different players have hit a 3 in the game. As Cotton shares it with Norton. He works baseline, made room for the shot. Good body mover, but couldn't finish it off. Creek working on Cotton, likes his chances. Forced to give it up. Liafa, single digits on the shot clock. Inside the last 60 seconds of the first half. Phoenix get to the elbow. Liafa knocks it down. Game high, 14-point lead here for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. Timeout Perth.
Well, it's just too easy to pair the numbers. 24 points, and we're not quite done yet. In this one, it's on the defensive end. It's passive. Right there, you're sort of there, but you're not really putting any sort of ball pressure. This one here, little step back again. At this level, that quality of shot for this quality of player, and offense is going to win most times.
Ball's here. Vic, you're cutting across here. We're trying to get the ball to Vic right here, okay? You go, as soon as Vic crosses you go this way, okay? On Vic's catch, Jesse, go this way. Set a back screen for Jesse to the rim, okay? You're attacking, looking for Jesse Long or Todd. You get a 3-on-2 there. If we have nothing, if Vic can't catch it, sprint up, get it back to the Mitch, run 24, okay?
Well, we queried Bryce Cotton being scoreless at halftime. The stat map would let us know, and he is on the ball, as you would expect. And Bryce Cotton, 48 games since he was scoreless at halftime. It was game 3 of the 2020 semi-final series against Cairns. He was scoreless. I remind you that in game 1 of that semi-final series, he hit 10 of 19 threes. So he was entitled for a slow game.
He came up big in the second half. They closed out that series, the Wildcats, and that's the thing about Bryce Cotton. It is a 40-minute job.
Don't rule him out, ever. Here's Vic Law, tough shot, couldn't make it fit. Well, they're getting nothing at the offensive end at the moment, just 16 points in this quarter after 15 in the opening term. And Melbourne, Southeast Melbourne, with a huge advantage. Liafa, one way, back the other, trying to shake Cotton. Nothing on offer. Gets it inside. Tarangi, with the shot clock expiring, can't convert. Vic Law, rebound number 5. No one has more in the game, and 13 points as well, which leads the game. And Cotton with a chance here. Last play of the first half. Wildcats find themselves down 14. Gives it over to Blanchfield, who's been good this year, but not on this occasion. And the first half honours squarely with the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. They led by 6 at quarter time. They enjoy a 14-point lead at the half, 45-31.
Yeah, and the alarm bells are ringing because we said that the number was 83, and they're well and truly on track to being in the 90s, the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. So this half-time is going to be about just reevaluating what you're doing on the defensive end for sure, but then at the other end, got to find a way to be a little bit more efficient.
Let's get some reaction courtside to Nerily Meadows.
Well, Cole Adnam with me. Cole, a brilliant effort by the team, but I really want to hone in on Liafa and his job on Bryce Cotton. He is scoreless at half-time. As a captain, you must be proud of that.
Yeah, definitely. Zay's a dog on that end. He's great. I think you got to defend Bryce with 5 guys. Zay's doing a great job of just getting through screens and making it difficult for him, and we've got to keep that up second half. We know how great he is, and he's definitely going to look to bounce back second half.
As we know, Perth Wildcats have been slow starters, but they do come back hard. How do you make sure you stay in control of this one?
Yeah, definitely. It's the reason they've made the playoffs for however many years in a row they've made it. It's been incredible. So they come back in the second half. We got a dogfight on our hands, and we're looking forward to it.
Appreciate your time.
Cheers.
It is all Southeast Melbourne Phoenix at the moment, up 45-31, a 14-point buffer here at John Cain Arena, otherwise known as the 5 Pit. Stick around, we've got highlights coming right up.
back Saturday night hoops, and the Perth Wildcats, well, they've got their problems at the moment because the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix enjoyed a double-figure lead in the opening quarter, eventually settling for a 6-point buffer at quarter time, and then got it out to 14 here at halftime, 45-31. And it's been great offense and even better defense. Both ends of the floor being covered here by the Phoenix. Bryce Cotton has not scored. There's a lot to like about the Phoenix as they do battle for second spot on the ladder.
Well, they've been impressive at both ends of the floor, putting up 45 at 47%, and it's the three-point shooting, 8 of 13. And there's just, with the Perth Wildcats defence, they're attending and they're going through their rules, but just not aggressive enough on the ball, allowing those types of three-point field goal attempts. And as such, they've been really efficient. Vic Law, he's been good for his 13 points, also has the 5 boards, and Matty Hodgson's come in with his role, but the missing link, and you see there with the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, they're shooting it at 47%, 61% from the three-point line. But the big number is Bryce Cotton, donut. He's yet to register a bucket and only had the 5 field goal attempts. So you'd like to see the ball in his hands a little bit more and getting more attempts. It's not great at 0 or 5, but and most of those 5 have been highly contested. So he hasn't been able to get too many good looks, and the ball hasn't been in his hands enough. But credit the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix for what they've been able to do to keep it out of his hands.
It really is the story of the first half. I mean, if you keep Bryce Cotton to that over the course of the first 2 quarters, you should have a double-figure lead. So that's why they're 14 points in advance. The Phoenix, 0 points, 0 of 5 from the field. He does have the 3 assists. That's not on the graphic there, but they're getting the ball out of his hands. And I tell you, if you can do that again in the second half, you beat the Wildcats.
Well, Isaiah Liafa's just been wearing him like a glove, and as I mentioned, Liafa's a former Defensive Player of the Year in the New Zealand Basketball League. He prides himself on that, but he's got his offense going as well. In fact, the Phoenix have got 8 scorers at the moment, Perth just 6.
And they've outscored the Wildcats by 14 points during his minutes on the floor, Isaiah Liafa. And that says a lot because they're the same minutes that Bryce Cotton's played out there. So you're right, doing it at both ends of the floor, chasing him off screens defensively, and then stepping up and knocking down some shots.
So what do they do? How do they get Bryce Cotton free?
Well, I think first and foremost it starts at the defensive end. 45 points is too much. Get more stops. That allows you, when you're not taking the ball out of the rim, that you can up the tempo a little bit easier. And they've got to try and get running games, get some easier baskets. And then on the offensive end, when Bryce brings it down and gives it up, be patient enough to get it back in his hands. Run him off some screens to be able to get the ball in his hand either for the shot or create those penetrating lanes. And have faith that Bryce, he's not a selfish player. When he gets it, if you put it in his hands to create, he'll make things happen for other people as well. So it's easier said than done. But that's what's got to happen. And some of his teammates have also got to help by putting the ball in the basket and making some baskets.
And the other thing these elite scorers do, and Drury knows this oh so well, Chris Golding, you see these guys, sometimes it takes a little while for them to work out the coverages, see how I'm being defended. Then they go in the sheds, have a bit of a think about it, work out how they're going to attack it. And that often happens with Bryce Cotton. So rest assured, he's going to come out and put some numbers on the board.
Good to see Vic Law back in form. He's really been holding it together at the offensive end for the Perth Wildcats. 13 points, 5 boards as well. But he had 9 in that second quarter out of the 16 they came up with. So he was very important, given Cotton a non-factor.
Well, and I think he just knew right from the opening tip that he needs to come out and have a big game. They need Vic Law playing at a really high level. And yes, putting points on the board, 13 points, nearly at 50% inside and out. That's huge, but also on the glass. They need him to be a defensive rebounder. So he's got 4 defensive rebounds, 5 boards overall on the way to a big double-double. That's exactly what they need out of Vic Law in the first half, the second half, every half over the course of the season.
Well, they've hit 8 threes to raise money for the Starlight Foundation, but February's all about the dunks in the NBL, and for every dunk in the month of February, Sportsbet are donating $500 to the Australian Prostate Cancer Association, and a further $500 for each dunk is going into a fan prize pool, which is now approaching $50,000 if you don't mind. And if you head to the NBL website now for your chance to shoot for the jackpot at halftime on March 5 in Melbourne, and you could come up with some big bucks.
Hey guys, Mitch Creek here. All the dunks around the league in the month of February have been bringing the heat for Dunkuary thanks to Sportsbet. We've still got a few games left in Dunkuary, so I'll be doing my best to get that tally up. For your chance to shoot for cash at John Cain Arena on March 5, head to the NBL website to enter. All right, let's get it. It's time to practice and throw down for my game. Let's go!
Welcome back to John Cain Arena, where it is the home side, South East Melbourne Phoenix, up by 14 points. Their coach, Simon Mitchell, joins me now. Simon, as an opposition coach, when you look at the stat sheet, and Bryce Cotton has 0 points to his name at halftime, how do you feel?
I feel nervous. It's not going to stay that way. You know, there's an explosion coming, and we've got to be able to ride that one out. So, really glad of the job that we've done on him to this point, but any let up and it's over. He's going to go off.
What was the main message to the boys at halftime?
These guys are a second half team. You know, they've had slow starts before and they come back. So we just got to make sure we're solid. You know, a couple of errors, Kyle getting beat on a back cut, foul on a three-point shooter. We just can't have that. We've got to be solid throughout. So that's our message.
Appreciate your time.
No worries, thanks.
Astute start from Simon Mitchell, coach of the South East Melbourne Phoenix. That's better ball movement from Perth, and they get Hodgson elevating quickly for the throwdown.
Well, that's his trademark, the reverse, and without much of a run-up either, just steps straight into that, and with the two hands stuffs it in. That was nice.
Perth restricted to their lowest first half of the season. Here's Creek a little out of control, bouncing into the paint, earning a trip to the free throw line.
We're talking about this. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, I just say I think he wound up twisting his way into a regulation finish. Here, the big fella, Hodgie. Extra points for the twist on the finish. Good, strong way to put it down. And Bryce Cotton didn't score that bucket, but he created it. Hockey assist.
got his way through that ball screen coverage, found his teammate down low, and the touch pass to Hodgson underneath.
Yeah, it was really good by Norton, but we're talking about the statistics of that great man on your screen, superstar. He's never in his career gone and not scored in 3/4 of action, so...
But that's not happening.
Statistics say that he's going to score in this quarter.
Liafa right there with him straight away. Trying to contain league's leading scorer at 24 a game, Bryce Cotton. Is the drought about to break? He caught that deep, so none of 6 overall, none of 3 from long range. Munford, he decides to go quickly, couldn't find the target. Cotton just got a piece of that to work it to the advantage of Blanchfield.
Munford only played the 8 minutes in that first half and only had the 2 field goal attempts. And straight away, we just see when you miss the ball, you get down, you're not going up against an established defense every single time. It just starts to loosen up for the Perth Wildcats.
Liafa works inside Hodgson, kicks outside, got Brockhoff a good look. Can't complete it. Law the rebound. Number 6 for him in that category. Leads the game in scoring and rebounding. And Mitch Norton helping himself to 2 more. Munford just almost slipping and drawing a foul. Hodgson in the vicinity. 4th personal foul now on Matt Hodgson. Well, that's creating some headaches for Scott Morrison and the Wildcats. Not good if you're a Perth Wildcats fan. Almost 2 minutes played in the 3rd. Double-figure lead. Mumford exploring, picks up the dribble. Liafa, shot clock at 3. Elects to pull the trigger. Ambitious, couldn't finish it. Law gets another rebound.
But Joe G needs to be more aggressive there. Has the Hodgson in the block and he sends the ball to go elsewhere. Vic Law can't hit there. Hodgson's out there on 4 fouls.
And the thing is,
demand it in the block and go to work.
Correct, and they're bringing Fraser in for him, so they're not going with Majuk, so they're going to go back to that small lineup.
It's Creek against Cotton with a height mismatch. Double team arrives. Checks it across. Shot clock to 2. Needs to go up and quickly from Munford. Can't complete it. This is Norton exploring once more. They left him alone. Couldn't finish it off the window. Hodgson with a fancy footwork. Off glass. Couldn't convert. Loose ball. Norton came up with it. Blanchfield. Pass knocked down by Creek. Brockhoff joining in. Decides to go solo. Couldn't finish it either. Law had it and coughed it up. Liafa back to Munford. Well, neither team has come out of the half-time break doing their best, and continues as Joe Chi comes up empty.
Well, I think they let an opportunity slip there, the Phoenix, those last 3 or 4 possessions. The Wildcats weren't quick to respond to Hodgson's 4th foul. Slowly got Frazier to that score table, and as a result, Hodgie had to defend 3 or 4 possessions, and not once did they post up Joe Chi and let him pound away and go to work.
Or even to that, just get him into put him in an on-ball situation and come off and drive it into his legs. Other ways in which you can force him to have to defend.
Eventually, it wasn't pretty to look at, but the finish was. And Frazier comes up with his first 3 of the game. So the margin cut to 7 after it was 14 3.5 minutes ago. They scored the last 7 in the game, Perth. Liafa penetrating. Never looked likely. Frazier puts a stop to it. White onto the floor for the first time in the game. Goes to Bryce Cotton. And he steps out from beyond the 3-point line, knocks it down. All of a sudden, the Wildcats are back to within 4. Perth has scored 10 unanswered points here. Game on.
Great response from the Wildcats. That's all over for Bryce Cotton. That scoreless first half. He's only looking forward from here, and timeout the Phoenix. Here he is, Cotton catching it in stride. The step back we've seen so many times. Brockhoff does well not to foul. That's as well as you can contest Bryce Cotton. You just got to hope he misses at that point, and usually he doesn't.
The late shot clock, we're settling on threes with 5 seconds to go. Oh, we're overhandling it and we're pulling the trigger. Get your head on the rim. Get your head on the rim. Put some pressure on that. Bryce don't want to get his third. All right? Still in hard shows with Bryce right here. Still in hard shows with the other kid as well. We can offensively next time down. Let's run a Utah. Run a Utah. Okay? Go to you. You come up the high screener. Bringing you off, Brody.
Just getting nothing at the offensive end since half-time. The Phoenix are none of 7 from the field. Their 2 points has come from the strike.
The Utah action is when they, I believe it is when they'll come up, set the back pick for the guy at the top, and then screen the screener and bring him out for the shot. It looks like they're going for a perimeter, a cheap basket on the back cut, or it's going to be this man here, Brockhoff. He comes back. Not well executed, but nevertheless, it was made a target out of Brockhoff.
And again, Mitch Creek gun shy on the 3 ball, which has deserted him after being great at the start of the year. This is with the shot clock expiring, and again they've come up empty. None of 8 from the field since half-time, and that was all they could come up with.
And you're right about Mitch Creek case. Simon Mitchell responds to how dry they are offensively by bringing in Kyle Adnam. Does give them that scoring punch. Creek, first 8 games of the season, 50% from 3 on a high volume. Last 6 games, 16%, 5 of 30, and he's lost all kinds of confidence right now from long range.
Frazier can't make it work. So the Phoenix get a stop, but Perth are on a 10-zip run. Things are happening for the Wildcats. Brockhoff back to Adnam, and again they've been pushed out of their stuff. This is good defensive pressure here from the Wildcats, and looks like an offensive foul, and it is called on Brockhoff, his first personal.
It's just good D. Kevin White, close him out, slide your feet. Brockhoff making contact down the middle.
Wildcats 5 of 10 from the field. In contrast, in this third quarter at 50%. Look to edge a little closer here. Asia knocked down. Another whistle provided.
It's going to be on Ashley, and they're the ones I was talking about before, and that's going to be surprise, surprise. Ashley's got some foul issues. That's been his Achilles heel the entire time in the NBL, and he does it again with a really unnecessary one. He's coming out here, hard show, just sticks the left leg out. That's a technique problem. Now, I don't think he clearly wasn't intending to trip him over, but that's just a technique where you just got to keep your legs in line with your shoulders, hard show, use more of your hands, and then get back as quick as you can. Particularly was that far out. The guy was not in shooting threat position to warrant that type of leg kick.
Fine in the corner. White can't complete it. And Brockhoff with the rebound. Number 7 for him in that category. No one has more in the game. Rebounding stats have been good. His 3 ball isn't working, but he's been able to find a way to contribute in other areas, Ryan Brockhoff, and it's a credit to him as Adnam rolls it down for Mitch Creek. Likes his chances against Kevin White. Double team arrived, coughed it up. Frazier off and running. Gets to the baseline, needs help. Picked off by Brockhoff, now Liafa, so a chance for the Phoenix. In busted play, Creek pulls the trigger on the 3, and it's off the mark.
There's at least foul called underneath here. Kevin White. Phoenix will get it back.
Gee, the ball looked like it was bouncing over the top of the scoreboard anyway, and they're the ones when you're a player, you go, well, hang on, it had no impact. If there was a little bit of a touch, had no impact on the rebounding contest because the ball had bounced over the rim, and there's an easy 2 in the underneath out of bounds.
10 points in the game now for Mitch Creek, the first Phoenix player into double figures. He has all 4 of South East Melbourne's points since half-time. We've played almost 6 minutes.
They need to get some more pace into their offense, the Phoenix. Wildcats have had some issues in defensive transition over the course of the season, and the Phoenix are at their best when they're playing up tempo, moving that thing through hands.
Frazier now with 7 points, including 5 in this quarter. Out of the 14 the Wildcats have mustered. Adnam picks up the dribble. Creek working on Cotton. Double team arrives now. Kevin White. Adnam, Liafa, Brockhoff, open man in the corner, knocks down the 3.
Good ball movement out. Eventually found Brockhoff in the corner. When you know the double team's coming, and the problem with that double team was the 2 little guys. It was so easy to pass out of it, and there's going to be another foul. That's going to be actually so you got 2 little guys, and they swing it around. Easy to get the ball out of that double team, and Brockhoff and down the other end. Ashley again, just not going straight up.
4 fouls, that's his season average, and he's taken out of the game once more. He's fouled out twice already this season, Brandon Ashley. And in one of those games, he lasted 10 minutes and 56 seconds against Tasmania, which is the fastest foul out we've seen this season.
The thing about his fouls is you love the energy, you love the intent. He's trying a hard show, but he sticks his legs out. He's trying to go up and contest straight hands, but he's flying forward. So the intent of what he's trying to do is sound. The execution is poor.
So he played 1 minute?
10 minutes.
Oh, 10 minutes, sorry.
10:56.
Okay.
Yeah. Though last season, Isaiah Liafa did foul out in 7 minutes, which was the quickest. But the margin here is 6 at the moment. It was as big as 14 in favour of the Phoenix, who had a double-figure lead in the first and second quarters as well. Creek rejected. Athletic work from Vic Law came to Adnam. His 3 rattles around the rim for the Starlight Foundation special touch.
Wow, real shooter's roll type of stuff there from Adnam. They got one from Brockhoff earlier, and it needed to go down too, because Brockhoff, who just hit one, was open on the arc.
Inside the last 3 minutes of the third. Good ball movement again from the Wildcats. Finishes with Frazier, and he's into double figures now.
And that's Perth's small ball lineup on display. That's what makes them so tough to guard when they've got this kind of group on the floor, and they spread you right out.
Had 2 at half-time, Frazier, 8 in this term. Right in front of the Wildcats bench.
Well, one official had a foul, the other official had the travel.
He stepped out of the double team before he got fouled.
There you heard it. And there's the block. Vic Law coming from the weak side. And Phoenix have done a good job. They recognise this small ball lineup. And what they've tried to do the last couple of times is get Mitch Creek into a switch and then post him up. And it was a block shot and then the little travel on the double team.
Bryce Cotton, same spot. He's fouled. Whistle on the play. And he's going to the free throw line where he is the best in the competition.
He certainly is, and this is also what hurts you when you're trying to stop a shooter, is you send him to the free throw line. Because not only do they start to register some points, if we take a look at it, they see the ball go through the rim. They hear that swish. They start to feel a bit better about themselves because they've picked up a couple of cheapies and they go, hey, this thing really does fit. Hey, this thing, this can go my way. And it just builds the confidence from the free throw line.
It's not one of those buckets at the show where the ball seems bigger.
There's like a centimetre around where you pay $5 to win a 50-cent stuffed toy.
And he's now 38 from 39 from the free throw line over his last 7 games.
That's impressive.
Bryce Cotton, it is automatic.
And 76 of 80 on the season. He's missed 4. So the margin is back to 3. This is as close as Perth have been since the opening quarter. They've climbed back from 14 down at half-time. And they have given the Phoenix plenty to think about. And Simon Mitchell was dead right. It's coming.
It was a great response.
Fantastic.
How do you feel when you see Bryce Cotton with 0 at halftime? Nervous. And to be honest, it hasn't been a Bryce Cotton explosion. It's been a job done at the defensive end. Drewy said it at halftime. How do you get back in this game? You got to start getting some stops. And they've restricted the Phoenix to just 10 thus far in this third period.
Yep. And 3 of 13 from the field. Creek fires unsuccessfully, and Law gets after it again. Rebound number 8 for him. To go with his 16 points, he leads both categories. And chance here for Perth to get back on level terms. Just ushered toward the sideline and stepped out of bounds.
You saw Dane Pino there, and he's a smart player. He knows the Phoenix are in the bonus, so he just tries to drive it into his legs and draw the foul, and he doesn't get bailed out by the official on that occasion. And he didn't, because Dane Pino had a good, sound defensive position.
Adnam exploring. Perth can't afford to foul either. 90 seconds left in the term. It's Liafa athletically to the hoop. Nice finish as well.
Good take from Liafa. Caught it on the move too. Knew the gap wasn't going to be there for long and got on the attack.
First score since halftime for Liafa. He's into double figures. Only Kyle Adnam with 11 has more for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. Cotton feeds Wagstaff, works inside Creek, confronted by Adam, just muscles his way in to come up with the 2. He's 3 of 3 from the field, Jesse Wagstaff. Always finding a way to make a contribution. Move inside the last 60 seconds of this third quarter. Second spot in the NBL up for grabs here. Phoenix hold it at the moment. Perth want it. Liafa bouncing into the paint once more, adding another 2. It's a 5-point edge. Foul caught on the Phoenix and free throws to come.
And this is what Drew's talking about. Cotton's awareness, the foul count, time, score, situation, and just making sure he's aggressive on the bounce. Here's Liafa catching on the move, attacking down the middle, high arcing finger roll. And again, this next time down the floor, he's having some kind of game. Team leading scorer with 12 points, 4 assists, and has kept Cotton pretty quiet. A quick rest here before they'll need him again in the fourth quarter. Meanwhile, Cotton drawing fouls and then remarkably missing from the stripe.
I reckon if he makes this, he'll have subbed him out as well for this possibly last defensive possession, so they avoid a foul on Bryce Cotton as well. Give him a little rest.
So Adnam and Creek combined to get it across the halfway line. Third quarter dominated by Perth, but here's Mitch Creek helping himself to 2 more.
That's what Simon Mitchell told his squad. Get your head on the rim. There's no rim protection on the floor for this small ball Wildcats lineup. Phoenix now putting it on the deck, getting in the paint.
Shot clock, 5 seconds inside the game clock. Team can afford to foul here in the concluding stages. Norton found a way past and gets it done once more. 6 points, 6 assists for Mitch Norton. 4 is the margin. Last play of the third quarter. Mitch Creek fills it up on the buzzer. Nice finish from Mitch Creek. And we get to 3-quarter time. Their 14-point lead has been reduced to 6. Final quarter action not far away. Stay with us. Welcome back to John Cain Arena. It is Starlight Children's Foundation Australia Night for the South East Melbourne Phoenix, and they're supporting a charity that has done a great job for over 30 years using play, social connection and creativity to support children and young people in some of their toughest times. For every 3-point shot, they are donating to the Starlight Foundation. Go to the Phoenix social pages to donate at home as well. They got 10 threes here, up to three-quarter time, and they'd like a few more as well as we get underway with the Phoenix on top by 6 and with possession from close range. Mitch Creek adds to it.
That's what I was talking about a little earlier. They get him in, put Mitch Creek in the on-balls, the rolls. They tried to pass him off to avoid Cotton having a guard Blanchfield, but it came too late. Easy 2.
Wildcats haven't come from behind at three-quarter time to win this season. Are they about to do it here? As Hodgson muscles his way a little closer and off glass, adds another 2. He's into double figures. 10 and 7 now for Matty Hodgson as we go courtside to Nerily Meadows.
Simon Mitchell very happy with that opening play. I can tell you why, Gazy, because he changed his mind last minute. He was going to go one, went with the other. Mitch Creek got on the end of it, and he was happy with himself as well. Simon Mitchell very fired up at that three-quarter time break, demanded their attention. He said, we've got to be better. Don't be satisfied with that first half. We've got to get those small things right. At least for now, he has a right smile on his face.
It's a huge quarter for the Phoenix. You know, you're in second place, you're 9 and 5. You only got 3 and 3 over your last 6 because you've had COVID disruptions, guys coming in and out of the lineup, but fully healthy squad at home against a championship contender. You've got to close this kind of game out if you've really got those championship aspirations. So it's a big quarter for them. He just saw Matt Hodgson go to work on Dane Pinot down low, so he brings Joe Chi back into the game to solidify that matchup.
Wildcats have been the bogey team. They've lost 7 out of 9, never beaten them on their home court. All those things add to the equation. Hodgson, poor pass, picked off by Munford, off and running, and he's given it up as well. Well done, Vic Law, who's everywhere tonight. Had a steal to the block, the assist, the 8 rebounds and the 16 points for Vic Law, and the Wildcats keep coming.
That was just great hustle by Vic Law. He was in the corner, turnover came, and he just put on the Jets to save an easy 2 for the Phoenix.
Creek against Law, forces up the shot, wouldn't tumble. Here's Joe Chi working over the back of Hodgson, and he's going to be called for the foul. Second personal on Joe Chi.
There's the steal. You see Law in the corner, and Xavier Mumford just coming down. It was going to be a 2-on-1. Just Vic Law doing the right thing and hustling him back.
Cotton gets away from Munford, opened up for the 3 ball. It's off the mark. Blanchfield keeps it alive from close range. He comes up with his first points in the game.
And they're the types of little things Simon Mitchell was talking about. Narrowly said in the huddle, he told him, don't let up. Got to take care of the little things. You've got to finish possessions on the defensive glass. Blanchfield makes them pay.
6-2 start to the final quarter. Margin cut to 2. Perth has not been this close since the opening quarter. They scored the first 2 of the game through Vic Law and led 6-4, but since then they have been chasing. Here's Adnan invariably making something happen, and then he's done it again.
Doesn't shy away from the moment. In the context of this game, that was a big play.
Oh, the other end. Points count. Vic Law athletically. Here's Adnan once more, looking for the response. That's a big bucket from Kyle Adnan.
Just like he's taking matters into his own hands. And when the offense has been struggling, Kyle Adnan just getting it done.
Chance now for Norton, takes them on. Good help D came across. And the Wildcats come up empty.
Yeah, it was a good read from Simon Mitchell. He wanted to get Isaiah Leafa back into the game to guard Bryce Cotton. And he had to decide, do I take out Adnam or do I take out my import point guard, Xavier Mumford? Well, Adnam's flowing, leaves him out there, 2 straight buckets.
Well, he's been making that choice a lot the last few games, and Mumford's only played 13 minutes, 1 of 4 for his 5 points.
Joe Chi, a little undecided, goes back to Adnam, who fires the 3 ball. Can't make it fit. Phoenix by 4. Law, baseline, elevates over Mitch Creek. He's got 20 points now, 8 rebounds.
Well, defensive transition. The last couple, there's been some easier baskets for the Perth Wildcats. Just haven't seen the urgency on the defensive transition by the South East Melbourne Phoenix.
Mitch Creek with Norton on his back, wants to take him on, draws the foul. First team foul on the Wildcats here in this final quarter. And Matty Hodgson is going to foul out of the game.
No, they caught it on Norton. Yeah.
Does ScoMo know?
Well, he had the mismatch, Mitch Creek.
Clearly a foul on Norton.
Yeah.
So I think ScoMo, it just looked like he might have tweaked his groin, but this has been an impressive game. In fact, I think one of the better games we've seen from Hodgson in a Perth uniform.
Oh, without a doubt.
10 and 7.
Well, he averaged 10 and 7 at Brisbane last season. Coming into tonight, he was averaging 3 points a game and had taken just 15 field goals in 7 games. Like 2 shots a game. And he's playing 12 minutes.
Well, I think he was a little out of shape and he had some injury issues at the start of the season, and now that he's working his way back into it, it's getting back to the Matt Hodgson we come to see. He hasn't still having those issues with his fouls, but much more of an offensive threat and a target in this one here this evening.
Nick Law and Mitch Creek have been at it all night. Here's Blanchfield. It could be an X factor down the stretch. He measures the 3. It's off the mark. And Jesse Wagstaff after the loose ball. Mitch Creek enjoying the contest. Good crowd in the house. Big night for the South East Melbourne Phoenix and the Starlight Foundation. Trying to win game number 10. 15, and Mitch Creek with user-friendly roll there adds to his tally. He's got 20 now as well, including 6 in this quarter out of the 10 that his team has scored.
This is a fun battle. Creek and Law, 2 of the premier power forwards in the league, going head-to-head.
And they're isolated here, and Vic Law got the better of him. Draws a foul on Creek. It's his 2nd personal.
Oh, looked like he was grabbing his hamstring a little bit after he went there. Hopefully it was just a little stinger, maybe a clash and a hit rather than anything else. But clearly he's in a bit of discomfort. There it is there. I think it was the left knee into the thigh of Vic Law. Never comfortable, but it's better than the alternative.
Value for money. For his foul there, Mitch Creek. Not comfortable for Vic Law. Timeout. He's going to need to keep himself moving. 6-point game.
Knife's edge, 73-67, 5:42 to play. You see Luke Travers there. Asked him fit pre-game. He's only played the 5 minutes, so he's far from 100%. And the Perth Wildcats, well, they face the prospect of dropping out of the top 4 if they lose here and things don't go their way for the remainder of the draw, for the remainder of round 13. In fact, Adelaide and Sydney first up tomorrow, and then Cairns against Melbourne. On Monday, it's Tasmania hosting the Wildcats and New Zealand hosting Illawarra on Tuesday. As we move into March,
If they go down here, it'll be 3 in a row. Not something you see very often from Perth. All good teams, of course. Melbourne, Sydney. This game against South East Melbourne, but I tell you, a lot of water still to go under this bridge.
It's been an entertaining affair. Saturday night hoops a little earlier. It was Brisbane winning against Tassie 94-86, and we've got a good one cooking here. And speaking of good, well, if you can hit a full court shot at an NBL game, you just might win $100,000 in the Latrobe Financial Sharp Shot. And if you miss the first shot, you get a second go from half court for $50,000 as well. Great support from Latrobe Financial. Get to the website, check it out. The NBL website win page and win big. Love to see someone walk away with 50K, 100K. And right now, Vic Law doing his best to keep the Wildcats in the frame here. 5 of 7 from the stripe. He's been there more than any other player tonight. He's got 22 points, 8 rebounds. Block, assist, steal, limping to the bench is not a promising scenario. So the margin is 4. Wildcats, who are down 14 in the second, put it back to 2 at one stage. In this final quarter.
Little zone defense, little matchup zone from the Wildcats. And jumped out of it after a couple of passes.
Adnam feeding Creek, baseline, wraparound finish is a good one from Mitch Creek.
Well, Adnam's making it happen. That time with the drop-off pass, and it's playing through him. That play was set up for a little punch screen for Adnam. They go away from it. Like you say, perhaps the zone threw him off, but they eventually get it back into his hands.
This ball, Rockhoff gets after it.
And over the course of the game, Simon Mitchell's avoided going small to match the Wildcats, but he's done it here. No Chi, no Ashley, no Pinot. Tarangi at the 5.
Rockhoff back to Adnam. Mitch Creek's been the man in this final quarter for Phoenix. 8 of their 12. Adnam joins in with a big 3.
Oh my! Kyle Adnam having himself a ball game. Team high 18 points and coming up big in crunch time.
Pressure on the Wildcats here as Wagstaff surveys his options. Shot clock rolls to single numbers. Nothing on offer for Blanchfield. They go back to Bryce Cotton. He's had a tough night at the office against Lee Harper, but he gets it done there. He's into double figures. 7-point margin. Tick over 4 minutes to play. Wildcats need to try and find some defensive pressure here. Get some stops. Tarangi, that's off the mark. They'll live with that. Frazier hands over to Cotton. Whistle on the play as well. Foul going to be called on Adnam. 3rd team foul on the Phoenix here in this final quarter. Let's get to Nerily Meadows.
Just for any concerned Wildcats fans, as you can see there, Vic Law coming back into the game. During the timeout as well, he gave a couple of thumbs up before taking those free throws. So he was a little sore, but nothing too concerning. We just think it's a bit of a knock. So he's all good to go.
They're going to need him right here to fire. We're inside the last 4 minutes. Phoenix by 7. Cotton, Law, Blanchfield. And Law spins, shoots. Over the top, but Brockhoff can't complete it. So Adnam slowing it down. Now, with the foot on the accelerator, the penetration. They stood off him. He went past Cotton and helps himself to 2 more.
Well, this looks like Bryce Cotton in another uniform. He's just taking control on the offensive end. Kyle Adnam.
And there's Blanchfield from close range. Just his 2nd field goal of the game.
And both have come off offensive rebounds, just finding a way to get involved. Blanchfield keeping the Wildcats within striking distance, but can they keep a handle on Kyle Adnam, torching them right now?
Here he goes for the 3 ball. It's off the mark. Phoenix have scored 17 points in this quarter. Adnam has got 9 of them. Creek has 8. No one else has scored for the Phoenix. Kept alive by Norton. Back to Bryce Cotton. Now looks for the penetration. Will help himself to the easy 2. 13 in the game now for Bryce Cotton. If you joined us late, he was scoreless at halftime.
And this is what happens if you're Southeast Melbourne. If you do go small to match the Wildcats, you lose your defensive rebounders and you lose your rim protection. And here Bryce Cotton takes advantage. He's able to beat the defense, and there's nobody to stop him at the rim. Easy finish.
Should have been an N1. Kyle Adnam has just been on fire, though. Really carrying a load. He's got his 20 points. A couple of boards, 7 of 13 and 4 of 8 from the 3-point line. But the confidence that he has in himself in big moments. There's a little step back that got him going early in the first half and came out in a real aggressive mindset. And that's not by accident. That's his role, to come in and make things happen either off the bouncer with the shot. And he had a few roll in, one lucky roll, and you think it's your day. So I'd say, though, that a lot of this, take nothing away from Kyle Adler, but it's pretty accommodating defence we're seeing. The ease at which you can get to the basket is not something you normally see from a Perth Wildcats defence. There you see the numbers, 7 of 13, 4 of 8, perfect from the free throw line, where he's historically been very good.
You've taken the responsibility of being captain of the South East Melbourne Phoenix. Averaged 12 and 4 assists last season, 37% from deep, and this season 11 3 assists. And right now, this has been the captain's knock, really, when you consider he and Mitch Creek are the only two that have scored for the Phoenix since three-quarter time. And just 5 points separating these teams with 2.5 to play. Been a great fight back from the Wildcats. Can the Phoenix, though, maintain their lead? Here's Creek tracking a double team. Not a lot on offer for the support, though. Eventually back to Adam. 3 on the shot clock from well beyond the three-point line. Couldn't finish it. Brockhoff, the offensive rebound, got a couple of them, but couldn't hit the target.
Good scramble from the Wildcats. Mitch Creek, he had the mismatch down low with Norton, but Vic Law did a good job coming across, and they put out the fire.
Inside the last 2 minutes. Whistle on the play.
At both ends of the floor, what you're talking about with the O boards of the Perth Wildcats, those same O boards are on offer down the other end for the Phoenix, and that time Brockhoff does the right thing, just wasn't able to capitalise on it, but was able to come up with a couple of offensive boards. So it's going to be a big factor, and just the good old fundamentals of stepping in and boxing someone out becomes more important when you don't have those big fellas around.
Narrowly Meadows courtside.
As you mentioned, Kyle Adnam has been brilliant, especially in this second half, just having a word to the coach now. But Simon Mitchell just pointed out in the play before that timeout, he maybe pulled the trigger a little bit early in the play. Just make sure you keep getting the ball rotating through all the hands. Be a little more patient, have a little bit more composure in these later stages of the game for the Phoenix.
Of course, Simon Mitchell sat out when these teams clashed 3 weeks ago, and Judd Flavel was head coach. All those problems that they had on that occasion, well, the Wildcats got home with big numbers. Won by 22, scored 101, the most that Phoenix have given up. And right now, we're on a knife's edge, and Bryce Cotton from close range makes it even closer.
That's great execution. Perfectly put together by the Wildcats. Cotton at the rim.
Well, the Phoenix being challenged here in the last 2 minutes. Can they find a response? Liapa takes it from Tarangi. They find Brockhoff firing from 3. It's off the mark. Vic Law climbs up to get the rebound, loose ball. Here comes Bryce Cotton. Phoenix can't afford to foul. Feeds the corner. Blanchfield, X factor, tied ball game, 90 seconds to play.
My. Great find by Bryce Cotton. They collapse on him, as they rightfully should, but you've got one of the league-leading three-point shooters. Before this one, he was shooting at 53%. Good hustle by Cotton, and a little clip to Norton. He goes down, and down the other end, there you see the defense coming in, crowding around him, building a wall behind the ball, and you leave Todd Blanchfield wide open in the corner, and he knocks it down.
He's in a bad way.
He does, he is.
Mitch Norton, it was a little extracurricular.
Well, I don't think it was intentional. I think
it ended up being just a little bit more of a grab than an inadvertent whack. And he's hurting.
Might have copped it. It looks like he's copped it in the eye. Have another look at it. There you see it. Norton's in there, and just, yeah, he didn't. It's no intent. He just extended the arm.
Tied ball game, a little over a minute to play. The Phoenix being challenged and stripping them of it again. Active hands came there from Frazier, and Perth have got it back here, looking to take the lead for the first time since the opening 3 minutes of the game. Blanchfield fires from the other wing, this time unsuccessfully. Liapa wrestling with Wagstaff, did a good job with the body, and it's knocked down out of court. And it will be a Phoenix ball. We'll have a review, though.
I'm not sure that's the best look. You've got Southeast Melbourne Phoenix with the 4 fouls. Just some attack on the rim. Mitch Norton, it's just in the eye, but I reckon under those circumstances, just have a play on the rim. and defense collapse, kick it out for a 3, fair enough, but just a contested 3 in the corner. I know Blanchfield has made one, but perhaps not making the most of the circumstances that presented it to him.
Inside the last 60 seconds, we are tied at 80. The Wildcats have come from 14 down to put some pressure on the Phoenix and see if they can find a way home. Adnam is off to the free throw line. Disappointed he couldn't get the 2 to fall.
Good attack from Adnam. Put it on the deck, established a bit of contact as he strided to the rim. But you're right, Case. There you see, frustrated that he wasn't able to finish at the rim. Big free throws here. Tied up inside the final minute.
As we know, good from the stripe, 74% coming into this game this season. 14 of 19. A perfect 3 of 3 so far tonight.
He's 84% on his career, though, so he's very reliable from the free throw line.
And gives the Phoenix a 2-point buffer. 44 seconds to play. What a fight back from the Wildcats. They've made a habit of it this year. They came from 18 down in the opening quarter to beat Cairns, came from 15 down in the second quarter to beat the Phoenix when they last played in round 10, and 13 down in the second quarter to beat Illawarra.
Mitch Creek, he's been a warrior for the Phoenix this afternoon. The right place there on the underneath out of bounds, and a lot of pressure on the rim. Off the bounce, he's played 37 of the available minutes, so he's only had a couple of minutes on the bench, and that was a huge one for him to see a 3-ball go in. And in this last quarter, he carried on from that make, and some tough ones. Gets the roll, nice hands, and he can go left and right on the penetration, and that makes him a hard cover.
They've missed him a couple of times in the block these last couple of minutes. Mitch Creek and the switching defense from the Wildcats. He's had Mitch Norton down there a couple of times. They've gone elsewhere. Meanwhile, in that other huddle, Scott Morrison trying to make sure they get a good look down this other end. As Drewy says, the Phoenix over the limit with their foul count. So you've got to make sure you're aggressive here, put some pressure on the officials to make that call. And, of course, play through Bryce Cotton. We saw that game in Sydney. Vic Law took that ill-advised 3 from way downtown. And we all know you have to play through Bryce Cotton in these big situations.
Overdue for an overtime game as well. We had one in rounds 1, 2 and 3. Only one since then, round 9, when Adelaide beat Melbourne United. Here's Bryce Cotton, exploring Blanchfield in the corner. Looking for the 3-ball, it's off the mark. And now reaching in, the foul's going to be called on Wagstaff.
Gee, I don't get that. I think I'm with you. I know Bryce is there. He trying to do the right thing, kick it out, but just get it back to him. We see Cotton.
It was only a 14-second shot clock, remember, because they advanced the ball. So when Blanchfield catches it...
Still 6 seconds left to be able to put some heat on the rim.
3-time MVP.
31 seconds on the clock. Mitch Creek to restart.
Got a foul to give, but this is one you're interesting to see what they do here. Try and put pressure up the floor.
Get it to Adnam. In a trap, though. Ball knocked down out of court. And initially, it looked as though the arrow was going towards Perth Wildcats.
Geez, extended pressure. Adnam catches it close to the corner. It's not a
review that
scenario for the Phoenix.
No, it's not. No body language expert, but judging by the players there, in particular, the way in which Fraser was behaving, I don't think they're all that confident they're going to get this.
Mitch Norton heading to the change rooms as well. Let's get a look at this.
Fraser swipes in. Oh, it's hard from that angle, but did that clip Kyle Adnam's knee?
I reckon it did. I reckon there's an extra change of direction right
there. I think you are right.
My goodness.
This is going to go the way of the Perth Wildcats.
Great play from Michael Fraser.
It is. There was definitely an extra. The ball looked like it diverted, didn't it?
They are having a long, hard look. Look, everyone on the floor set up for a Phoenix ball, but
Call is overturned, White.
we're going the other way.
Well done. I don't know. We see batsmen walk in cricket at test level. Should Kyle Adnam put his hand up there?
I'm not sure he would have even felt that. It's such a glancing
I
blow
certainly wouldn't.
in the heat of the moment. It happened so quick. You know,
So again, it's a 14-second shot clock here for the Wildcats. You must play through Bryce Cotton.
Alpha right there with him. Phoenix can't afford to foul. Free throws to come. Here's Cotton. They've got a mismatch against Ashley. He fires, can't connect. Alpha had it. Cotton almost stole it away. Out of court. Oh, a little undecided with the...
He's called that Wildcats ball. Now they'll review it, but if there's no conclusive evidence to overturn, Perth are going to get that back.
well, all their attempts as they've played here, they're just going for the 3-ball. Now, they do have the option to get to the rim and get fouled. There you see Bryce for the first hit, but then this is the one.
Well, at the moment they're saying Wildcats ball, but that looked like it was off Cotton.
Phoenix, yeah.
It looks as though we're going to get this one going the other way. Bryce got a piece of it early.
His right hand here.
And his
Gets
hand
that last
gets
touch.
the last touch above Brian Brockhoff's hand. Well, the yin and yang of basketball. So the Phoenix are going to restart here. With 20 seconds on the clock. So Wildcats with a foul to give. Mitch Creek wants Adnam and finds him now. In traffic again, the trap arrived. They're trying to wrestle the ball out of his hands. And they did have a foul to give and they've used it. 14 seconds remaining.
So they made a big decision there, the Phoenix, not to call timeout and advance the ball. And as a result, the shot clock was turned off. So the Wildcats in a situation where they can't just play it out and try to get a stop. Foul there, had a foul to give. Can the Phoenix get a clean inbounds and finish it at the line?
Brockhoff finds Adnam. And straight away, foul going to be called on Bryce Cotton. Third personal for him. Free throws to come.
Well, they got it to the right person, the Phoenix, because, as we mentioned, Adnam's been very good from the free throw line in this game and across his career.
So Kyle Adnam playing his 9th season in the NBL. Kyle Adnam only missed 40 free throws out of 260. As you mentioned, 85% career-wise. You had to pick someone to take your free throws. You might be picking him.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, it's good that they were able to get it in his hands. Perth have a timeout, still one timeout remaining. So if this goes in, I suspect that they'll call one and advance the ball.
That makes it tough. 4-point lead for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. Tick over 12 seconds left on the clock. And timeout Perth. Well, this has been brave. It's been very impressive from the Wildcats, who could not get going earlier in the game. Down 10 in the opening quarter, 14 at halftime. And the Wildcats, what do they do here?
Well, they get the ball in the hands of Bryce Cotton. We have seen it so many times over the course of his career.
Surely
not
not
necessarily
Surely they don't
for
foul.
game-tying situations. And you would think it wouldn't happen.
You would think.
But it does happen.
It's happened
time and time again. So you put it in his hands and you let him dance and make a play from long range, see what he can get happen. Now, the flip side is to say, still 12 seconds on the clock. Get something quick to the rim. Now they've got to inbounds it. The Phoenix will call a timeout and advance it. Maybe we can get a steal and get something happen. But either way, make sure Bryce Cotton catches the inbound pass.
And whatever happens, it's got to be quick. You need this shot to be taken within 3 or 4 seconds to give you a realistic chance of getting another stop, either via the foul and missed free throws. Perth have no more timeouts, so they will still have to advance it from the other end, because you suspect that Phoenix will call a timeout if they are able to score.
What can the Wildcats come up with here? It's Blanchfield looking for Cotton, finding him, firing the triple. It's off the mark. Ashley grabs the rebound. Wagstaff reaches into foul. Still 5 seconds left on the clock. And Ashley goes to the other end of the floor, and anything could happen. His free throw shooting is not sublime.
No, this one's in the book. 5 seconds. Hate to be a spoiler.
Oh, hold on. 0 for 2 here. BC down the other end.
Well, but you still got your 4.
No, I hear you.
Unless there's a 4-point play, unless there's a we did see that once from Bryce Cotton, ironically, in Cairns. Remember when he fouled the 3-point shooter and went in overtime?
He's finished. He's iced it here though.
Now though, it's
Brandon Ashley, and it was a good play. I didn't mind the play. You got Cotton a contested 3, which is really what you're after.
Exactly what they were after. Brandon Ashley puts the finishing touches on, and the Phoenix fans are pretty happy about this, and so they should be. They haven't had the best of it against the Perth Wildcats. And it's been a great fight back by the Perth Wildcats, but they've come up short, and the South East Melbourne Phoenix have beaten Perth on John Cain Arena for the first time ever. The Phoenix 86, Perth 80 in a cliffhanger.
It was a tremendous fight back by the Perth Wildcats. They showed the grit that we come to expect from this great team, and some of their decision-making again down the stretch, I think, is going to come into question. We saw it against the Sydney Kings, and similarly, when it was all tied up and 3 cracks at it, and all coming from the 3-point line, and weren't able to get it done. But that man on your screen, Kyle Adnam, he was huge. 24 points on 7 of 14, made some big free throws, 4 assists as well. So he's the footlocker player of the game, and deservedly so, from Kyle Adnam. And this is a big win for the South East Melbourne Phoenix. It's a home win. You know, Perth Wildcats are going to finish a lot of home games at the end of the season, but no matter which way you slice it, they've lost 4 out of 5 now, the Perth Wildcats, and going to be a difficult, tricky one come Monday night against
the Jack Jumpers.
The Jack Jumpers.
But this has been very impressive from the Phoenix, because they had to find a way home, and the Wildcats, well, they dug themselves out of a mammoth hole, down 14 in the second there. And the Phoenix needed to score the last 6 points of the game in the last 90 seconds to get to that final equation, and they get the job done. It's been terrific. We'll be back to wrap it up. Stay with us here on the Hungry Jacks NBL. The Phoenix 86, Perth 80. More after this. Oh, it's been a terrific night of Hungry Jack's NBL action, with a little earlier Brisbane defeating Tasmania, and then Southeast Melbourne, Phoenix and Perth standing toe-to-toe. Phoenix did a good job, led by double figures in the opening quarter and a game by 14 at half-time. But after half-time,